I'd like to share with you a thought about Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is known as Shabbat Shabbaton, the holiest of holies, and this year actually does fall out on Shabbat. It's a day where we are like angels. We abstain from eating and drinking. We dress like angels. We spend most of our waking hours in prayer, beseeching God. It's a day of supplication, and it's a very auspicious day. And the question that always boggled my mind is, why do we start off Yom Kippur services with the Kol Nidrei? Now, the Kol Nidrei is actually, when the Chazan starts singing it, very moving. People are moved to tears when they hear the first words come out of the Chazan's mouth. And the truth is, it's a very technical thing. I mean, if you look at it, it's dry. The words are not particularly moving words. It's a nullification of our vows. So I wonder why we start off this powerful day with such a dry technical thing. But the truth is that I think it's something that makes perfect sense, because as people, we are only as good as our word. And if we say we're going to do something and we don't follow through, if we're not reliable, then we're effectively useless. And if we're going to come to God and spend a day asking for His forgiveness for everything under the sun, if our word means nothing, then what are we doing? So it's important to come to God and acknowledge and say we know that we've said things that we haven't followed through. We know we might have said we're going to do something and maybe done another. We're aware that we've done that, and we apologize for that. And please forgive us for all our sins. So that's one thing. But there's an opinion that I really love of Rabbeinu Tam, who says that the nullification of our vows is we're not nullifying our past vows, but we're nullifying our vows for the upcoming year. And the reason why I love this so much is because I think it's very hard for us as, human beings who don't like to be hypocritical, to come for a full day of apologizing for everything we've done. And in the Yom Kippur services, you'll find apologizing for every possible thing that you could have possibly done wrong, and to ask forgiveness for all these things when we know full well that in the days shortly after we're going to be doing many of these things again, because we are not angels, we're not perfect, we're human beings, and we're going to mess up, and we know that. And it's really, really hard to ask forgiveness for everything. And as we're enumerating it, we know that the likelihood of us doing these things again are pretty high. And nobody wants to feel like a hypocrite, and we want our words to mean something. And if we start off by acknowledging that, by saying to God, listen, we're going to nullify our vows, not because we don't want to keep them, but because we know that we're very human, and we know we're going to mess up, and you know that, and we know that, but we do feel bad, and we need your forgiveness, and we need your mercy to go on with life, and to try at least to go in the right direction, because in the end of the day, that's, all that God really wants, and all that we can really do as human beings is just to try our best. And everything matters. We know that God judged Yishmael Asher Husham. They said, why did God keep Yishmael alive when he was about to die in the desert? And God judged him for exactly who he was in that moment, to keep him alive. And he does that with us. And every single moment that we have, one moment of regret is so meaningful and so powerful that it kept Yishmael alive till today. So you imagine, right, if we can build on that. So it's all worthwhile. We shouldn't be thinking 10 steps ahead. Think about what we're saying at this moment. Think about when we ask for forgiveness at that moment that we do really feel bad, and how meaningful and powerful that is to God. And we can do that when we've acknowledged before that we might not be able to be perfect. We're going to mess up. But we do still feel bad, and we still ask you, God, for your forgiveness and your mercy and your abundant kindness. So let's just remember that the words are extremely important. Let's try and follow through. Let's watch what we say, more or say harbe, and let's not make big promises. Be more of a doer. And I hope that you all have a Gemar, a Chatima Tova, and that the year ahead should only be filled with good things for all of us. Thank you. Take care. Shana Tova.